Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the C Podcast featuring Hex and Shin. As always, my name is Shogun Shin, and I am joined by my co-host Hex Ginkgo. And Hex, this is episode 17 of the C Podcast. Can you believe it?
I'm kind of honestly just proud of us that we've managed to get as far as we have.
Right? Alright, so, as far as things to talk about for today, I figure, I honestly haven't had anything interesting happen in my life, so I figure what better to talk about is E3. E3 happened over the weekend,
yeah.
So I think we should definitely talk about, the stuff that we saw at E3, some good, some bad, what we're hopeful for, what we are asking ourselves why.
Okay.
And the first thing that I want to do, so I didn't watch anything live, but I did go back and kind of watch a majority of the conferences, not like all of them. I saw like 10 minutes of Microsoft's, and I was like, I don't care. Like, I just can't care enough to watch Microsoft's. But I watched Gearbox, I watched Square Enix, I watched Ubisoft for a little bit, which was really fun. And so one of the things that I'll say that I have really high hopes, but I have very, very low expectations, and that is apparently Gearbox is making a Borderlands movie.
Oh, yeah.
Kevin Hart and Cate Blanchett. And
Cate Blanchett. Kevin Hart is he Malachi?
He's Roland.
He's what the fuck?
Okay, so here's what what I learned for the Borderlands movie. Apparently the cast for the most part, as far as the in-game characters, are Lilith, Tiny Tina, Roland, Krieg, Moxie, and Patricia Tannis. Okay?
Jamie Lee Curtis is Tannis?
And the people who are playing these roles are as follows. Jamie Lee Curtis is Dr. Patricia Tannis.
Holy shit.
Gina Gershon is Moxie. Florian Monteu is Krieg. Kevin Hart is Roland. Ariana Greenblatt is Tiny Tina. And Cate Blanchett is Lilith.
No, you missed one.
Oh, Larry?
Claptrap.
Oh, right. And then Claptrap's being played as by Jack Black.
That's pretty dope.
That's like a wild cast.
You know, looking at Gina Gershon, she could do a good Moxie. Yeah, I think she could. It's just like one of those things where it's like I saw the announcement and I was like watching the behind the scenes of the conference, and in my head I'm just like, oh man, I'm really excited, but at the same time, man, this is gonna suck. Oh no, it's gonna be terrible.
Cause like no video game movie is ever good, for one thing, and then also like,
which game are they doing? 2?
I don't know. It can't be 2. I don't think it can be 2. Well, okay, it probably is 2 because it has to be somewhere in 2 because they have Krieg and Tiny Tina.
Charles Babalola is Hammerlock.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either. Benjamin Byron Davis is Marcus. Cheyenne Jackson, he's Jacobs. Okay. Oh, and they got Scooter. Okay, yeah. They have a Scooter.
Edgar Ramirez
they have an
is
Ellie.
Atlas, so that's okay.
Who the fuck is Crom?
Crom that's an actual character. I know that for a fact that's an actual character.
Commandant Knox. Okay, so it's the first game, because Knox was in only the first game. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay, so Crom was like a mini-boss in Borderlands 1.
Okay.
So
I didn't know, but Jacobs and Hammerlock weren't in the first game.
You're right. And neither was Tiny Tina or Krieg. So, like, it's like I want to say it's probably like a
both?
blending of, like, right before 2, maybe, or maybe, like, a little bit after 2.
Considering there's no Mordecai, there's no
It can't
Zero.
be before. It can't be after 2, because Roland dies.
Yeah. There's no Zero, there's no, like half of the cast isn't there.
Yeah.
Either they haven't cast them, or it's just going to be Cate Blanchett and Roland, and Krieg and Tina, and that's probably the main cast. Is like those 4. I'd be willing to bet.
I feel like if they haven't made the announcement already, most likely the main cast is probably going to be Lilith, Tiny Tina, Roland, Krieg, and Moxie and Tannis.
That's what I meant. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. Is that's going to be the team of 4. And yeah, so okay.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's,
whatever.
It's there.
Whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Yeah. I just, I think my biggest problem, and this has nothing to do with Kevin Hart. I think Kevin Hart is a very funny comedian, very
with
funny
a lot of
comedic
issues.
Actor. But, the character that I know as Roland is not a funny character.
His very serious.
His humor is seriously funny.
Is so dry.
It's a dry humor and that's what makes it funny.
Right.
If Kevin, honestly, if Kevin Hart was Claptrap, I'd be like, okay, I could see that. That makes sense.
I wouldn't want that.
I mean,
Jack Black makes sense.
Want and could see are two very different things.
I mean, if we're doing anybody,
I said I could see it.
If anybody should have, if aside from Jack Black, it would have been shit. What's his name? I always forget his name. He played BB-8 actor.
I don't know.
Bill Hader. Should have been Bill Hader.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever.
Yeah, it's so again, and I mean, Borderlands obviously with being a video game movie, it has to. We all always ask the question: is it going to be good? Because no video game movie has ever been good, as far as if you look at how trends go. I think the closest good quote unquote video game movie I think was probably World of Warcraft, most likely. That's the one in my recent memory that I'm like, people didn't hate it, but it definitely wasn't like, oh, this is awesome.
Let's see.
Less people hated it compared to other video game movies. Let me see here. Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog was actually very good.
Sonic the Hedgehog is probably the best.
Hedgehog. That was probably the best actually. Sonic the Hedgehog, really, everyone liked that. The Witcher, okay, variety. The Witcher is not a. The Witcher's it's a
TV
show, right?
I don't count that.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
The Witcher doesn't count because it's a TV show. If we're strictly movies, then yeah, no, it doesn't count.
Yeah, so Sonic the Hedgehog had a pretty decent reception. If
you didn't like Sonic,
I've never seen it, actually. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I heard
you should totally watch it.
I've heard that it's really, really good, but I haven't seen it.
I own it on Amazon. I wonder if I could watch party it.
Detective Pikachu, I want to say was okay, but people really wanted to like it, but they just didn't.
I wanted to like it. Okay, it was bad, but it was charming.
Yeah. For what it did, it was you know what, this was okay.
The Mortal Kombat movie was pretty bad.
Oh, really? The recent one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so upsetting. It was pretty bad. Oh, I wanted it to be good. Oh,
I'd give it a 5.
Oh no! Oh, that's so upsetting.
It's a movie.
It looks so good though. It's so sad.
I want to watch party that one too. It's okay, but here's the thing: is are you expecting a Mortal Kombat movie to be good?
No. You just expect it to be gruesome.
And it was to a degree.
All right.
But the characterization of most of the characters was spot on. You just have to consider that most of the characters are really bad.
Yeah, they're really one-dimensional.
Yeah, and I don't mean Scorpion's a bad character. Scorpion's a really cool, badass character, and I love him. His backstory is stupid as shit.
Yeah, it's hard to get in depth with
and
it.
then they made an OC character, and he is the worst. So, like, it doesn't matter. It's the best Mortal Kombat movie that there has been, and it's one of the better video game movies, but it's still not good.
Yeah.
It's a decent movie. It's enjoyable to just sit down and watch, but I can't recommend, like, it's not something anybody's gonna be like, yeah, this is amazing. No, it's fucking bad.
Okay, I would say
Anyway.
I guess Sonic the Hedgehog is probably quote unquote the best video game movie. But I would put an asterisk on that because it's a movie about a video game character, not necessarily the video game itself, you know?
That's fair.
So it's kind of like, it's kind of awkward to be like, oh, Sonic was the best one. Where it's like, well, I mean, sure, but it's really more of like a movie about Sonic as a character rather than, and that's not terribly hard to do.
No.
As far as like,
I mean, and in terms of like, yeah, I was willing to get like, I don't consider The Witcher to be like, it kind of works in the same way.
Yeah.
It's like if Sonic X the show had turned into a movie.
Yeah.
You know? So it kind of bounces, but that weird line.
Yeah. By the way, you are fire team leader. Just letting you know.
Okay. I didn't know what we were doing, and I was getting some stuff.
It's on you. I'm down for whatever.
Okay.
But so yeah, I'm excited about Borderlands, but at the same time, I'm like, man, my expectations are real low. Like, I'll see it, but I am not expecting it to be good. I'm there for you guys. I'm just here to watch the train burn.
I didn't know what to expect from the Gearbox thing. I was like, well, I can't imagine that they're gonna really do anything Borderlands related. Or like, my idea was like, it's gonna be Brink 2 or some shit.
Dude,
but the game that they announced sounds really interesting because it's a play, or at least the way that it was described to me is like it's a play on, or rather an expansion and standalone version of Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, which was awesome, and I'm very much for.
Yeah, and like the cast that they have for it is really, really impressive.
For the game?
Yeah, for Wonderlands. They have Will Arnett, Andy Samberg, Wanda Skies, Ashley Burch.
Sykes,
sorry.
Yeah. Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
She's hilarious.
Yeah, they have like a bunch of people for this that are really, really funny. I think my only concern about it is you know, like, you have a bunch of funny people on this game, and because of the ridiculousness of Borderlands and who Tiny Tina is as a character, my fear is that it's going to be, like, too campy. Or, like, it's going to be, like, over the top just to be over the top. Because, like, I think the magic that was Tiny Tina as a character, especially when you first are introduced to her, is that she is this sort of zany character, but it felt natural. Like, it felt like, oh, you know, it felt fleshed out enough to feel like an actual character.
Right.
And the magic, I think, of Borderlands, I would say Borderlands 2, because I think Borderlands 2 is probably the best out of the entire series.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that, you know, a lot of the campiness was grounded in the real world. Like, it wasn't just like campy and zany just to be like, oh, hey, we're wacky. It's like, no, this actually kind of makes sense. And it's like, oh, okay, that's actually really funny. So I'm worried that with how, and especially with, like, Assault on Dragon Keep, again, it was this fantasy RPG world of Dungeons and Dragons. But again, it was reasonably campy in that, like, a lot of the jokes were grounded in some sort of real life aspect. And that's what I think what made Tiny Dragon Keep so great. And so I'm worried that Wonderlands is going to be like, hey, we're basically Assault on Dragon Keep 2, and we're just going to do all the stuff that we did last time, and because it'll probably work. And we're like, well, it may not. So
may probably not.
Like, been there, done that.
So in terms of awesome shit, Actually, I want to find the worst thing. Oh, okay, it's not the worst game, but it's the most like, why the fuck is this happening?
Okay.
Is Guardians of the Galaxy. I am genuinely shocked that
I think it looked okay.
I think it's Square. Yeah, it's Eidos Montreal.
Yeah.
They let them have it again after Avengers.
Oh, are they the ones that made Avengers?
It's not, it's still Square. Because Eidos is owned by Square.
Right.
So, and it's the exact same art style, it's the exact same, like, it looks like the same kind of gameplay, but it's not gonna be Avengers. Which is good, because Avengers is terrible. It has, like, an all-time low, like, a consistent low of like 200 players a day on Steam. Oof. Maybe.
Oof.
It's not good. Like, and I bought the game. I didn't even get to the end game where you get to multiplayer. I didn't even finish the campaign. It was just
the multiplayer.
It was so bad. I couldn't do it. And I wanted to like it, believe me. I wanted it to be good, but it was not good. You can't. Sometimes you just can't polish a turd. And, like, from what I know about this Guardians of the Galaxy game, is you play as Star-Lord.
Yeah.
And it's not Chris Pratt's Star-Lord.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
And if you know anything about Star-Lord in the comics, he's probably the least interesting Guardian of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Gamora's cool. Groot is awesome. Rocket's cool.
It does seem kind of interesting, though, because you are playing as the leader. So you're playing as Star-Lord, who was the leader of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And from going off of the gameplay, it did feel very, like very Telltale-ish, where it's like you have to make certain choices, and those choices will factor in later down the road. So, I mean, that aspect seemed kind of interesting in that regard.
I mean, did you watch the actual combat? Because it just looks like generic.
No, I didn't watch the combat.
No.
I was kind of like,
It just looks super generic.
I don't know if there's anything you can really do about that, honestly.
Halo Infinite multiplayer will be free to play.
Oh, yeah. So, the Halo Infinite multiplayer, I saw that. That looked really, really interesting. It was hard for me to get into it just because it's Microsoft and Xbox, and I'm like, meh. But at the same time, I was like, okay, you know.
I mean, it's Halo. I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, it's Halo. I'll play it, and like, I remember it, like, based off the action trailer. I thought it looked really, really good. You know, it reminded me of the good old days of Halo 3 and Reach, of like big team deathmatch. 16 versus 16 deathmatch of like, oh yeah, like. I lived for those, man. Here's
the thing, though, about Halo 5, and if it's not like Halo 3, like, or Halo Reach, like, because that's what everybody compares every Halo to.
Yeah.
If it's not like that, then you know what exists, or will exist soon at the very least, is custom like a browser for Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
Now, granted, like, that's like a, hey, if you don't like Halo 5 multiplayer, then you can just say screw it. But if they're building an entire multiplayer for their new game, that's kind of the benchmark that they have to hit.
Yeah.
And, well, they haven't hit it since, 2011? So, 10 years?
Yeah.
That's not a good track record. I don't know if you played Halo 4's multiplayer.
Oh, I did.
It's not great. Fun.
It's not that fun. It's pretty not fun.
I really liked it when the game first came out, and I was really good at it because, hey, it's just Call of Duty, and all of the, like, Halo diehards were having an issue, like, they were having trouble acclimating, and I was like, no, you just use the BR, the DMR, and then you win games.
Yeah. I think another thing about the multiplayer for Infinite is that, like, you had all these really cool gadgets, like, I saw they had, like, a grappling hook, and then, like, you could, like, pick up weapons and, like, pick up, like, different ordnance and stuff like that with it, and stuff like that, which looked really awesome. But the problem is that, like, you also have to, like, sure, it's awesome to have a feature like that in a game, but if nobody uses it, then it's like, what's the point?
Well, I mean, they had stuff like that in Halo 3.
Did they?
Granted, to the degree, well, they had like pick-upable.
Yeah, like the different power-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, not the power-ups. You remember like the shield drainer and the grav lift?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, so I mean they had stuff kind of similar. I get that it is different, but that's always been an aspect of Halo multiplayer. I mean, since pretty much Halo 1, there's always been different objectives like that. I just don't see people really latching onto some of these things. Because of the way that modern shooters work. I don't play modern multiplayer shooters because I hate them. Because I hate the mentality of people who play, but not everybody. Like, I have friends who play, like, Call of Duty multiplayer, and I hate them when they play those games, but they're still my friends, you know?
Right, yeah.
It's just a certain mentality and kind of, like, that comes with a competitive shooter specifically. I just don't like to be around it, so... You know, that's just going to happen, especially with, like, the Fortnite era.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, this game's just going to be overloaded with kids that are begging their parents to buy them the new Halo game, even though they've never experienced Halo.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how
a game built for them.
How it's adopted and, like, just how things are going to operate. Yeah. Because, like, I do want it to succeed. I absolutely do.
I do, too.
It looks super fun.
It's a new Halo.
It looks super fun. It looks super interesting. Like I'm not a big PvP person, but like Halo PvP, I'm there all day, every day.
Halo PvP is probably my absolute, some of my best memories, especially on Xbox.
Yeah.
Anytime. I mean, we've had fun with Halo PvP since then. Yeah. Like, you and I have played it.
Yeah.
And it's been fun. What else? Starfield looks like it's gonna be trash. Just in the fact that it's a Bethesda game.
Yeah, I saw Starfield, and all I thought was like, so it's Fallout in space?
Yeah,
that's what this sounds like. It sounds like space Fallout.
It's just another Bethesda game. Yay.
Woo!
What else looked... Mario Rabbids looks kind of funny.
Yeah, Mario Rabbids looked funny. I played the original Mario Rabbids. I had a lot of fun with it. It was a cute game. It was really fun. Mm-hmm. There was one part of the gameplay aspect that did kind of confuse me. So with the original Mario Rabbids, it was turn-based, in which your character could only move. Your whole map and arena was sectioned into a whole grid. And then your characters, based on their stats and other perks, they could move a certain amount, and then they had a range that they could attack and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's what they were saying. And now it's free movement.
And now it has free movement.
The point of a strategy game.
That's weird.
Yeah, right. I'm not the only one who thinks that, right?
And I saw that, and I was like,
strategy,
wait,
it's not unheard of. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's just super, super weird, because it's still turn-based, too. It's like, free movement, turn-based, and I'm like, that sounds insane.
It sounds like the opposite of whatever. Okay, I'm willing to try it out.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot, and I'm there. And, I think Mario & Rabbids is also a really good example of a game that's, realistically campy, because you have all the Rabbid characters different Mario characters. In the trailer you see Rosalina Rabbid, and I'm like, that's hilariously adorable. That's weird. But I also see where you're coming from.
I'm glad it exists. You know,
the characters are all reasonably campy, and I was like, okay, this looks like it'll be a fun time.
Yeah.
So definitely looking forward to that. I didn't see a whole lot of so this was part of the Xbox conference, which I didn't see, so I just saw a trailer of it last night. And it was the vampire shooter Redfall. which seems like it's kind of like based on what I saw in the trailer, which wasn't a whole lot. And all I'm going off is what I saw in the trailer. It looked like Left 4 Dead vampires, which I was kind of like.
Oh, it's Arcane Studios.
Yeah.
What did they make?
Dishonored.
Oh, yeah.
They made the Dishonored series. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like,
okay.
You know, this should be really interesting. It looks like Left 4 Dead vampires, and I'm like, I'm here for it. Okay.
Yeah, I'll play that if it's good.
Like, it looked really interesting.
I'll probably play it if it isn't. I like vampires. I like Arcane Studios.
Yeah, and I love PV, like, co-op PvE games. Like, I'm like, all right, you know, this looks really, really fun. The powers looked really interesting. The game itself seemed fairly unique and stuff like that. So I'm curious as to see like what it's all about and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god! I'm not trying to be rude to video game developers, but do people even care about Battlefield and Call of Duty at this point? Outside of there being a new game, do they really care about what the next game is going to be?
I mean, I think they care enough to play
it. They buy it because it's Call of Duty, but like Battlefield 2042, we're not going to set it far enough into the future that you'll be pissed that it's a future game, but we're not going to set it like in modern era because that might get a little sketchy because of the political climate at the moment.
Yeah.
Like, but like, what is even? Oh wait, yeah. So we're gonna do some expunge missions.
Okay.
Which one do you want to do?
Let's do the corrupted one because I tested it out last night.
No. Yeah. So do you want to do Tartarus? Do you want to do?
No, there is no corrupted version of the other ones. Only Labyrinth, for now.
Oh.
Because I
which
tested
is
it out,
on the Tangled Shore.
Yeah, I tested it out last night.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
I'm assuming that the next 2 weeks we'll get a corrupted version of the other two.
Gotcha.
In the next 2 weeks, but for now it's just that one because I tested it out last night to see if I got a chest and I didn't, and I was like, oh, okay, this kind of makes sense, but I was a little annoyed at the same time.
Splinter Cell animated series.
Hold on. Okay.
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
God. No, it's a good thing.
Okay.
Shit. I got a notification. Nope, did I not? What the fuck? Thought I just got a notification.
Hey, Esprit.
From my Octoshop.
Oh man, speaking of Octoshop, the only notifications that I have gotten from Octoshop is that Walmart and eBay are selling PS5s for like $1,100. And I'm like, why? Why in the world? And how? I think I looked last night actually, and Newegg was selling them for like, I think 11 or 10, I think is what they're selling them for. And I was like, I want to die.
God damn it. I'm trying to get the Legend of Zelda Joy-Cons.
Speaking of Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword remake coming to Switch. Looking forward to that actually. I didn't play it for. I enjoyed playing Twilight Princess. I thought it was a fun game. I was actually looking forward to doing Skyward Sword, but then you needed the Wiimote attachment thing, and I was like, oh, I don't want that on my Wii because I don't play my Wii anymore. So I guess I'm not playing Skyward Sword. And so they said it was coming for Switch, and I'm like, okay, I'll play it then. That's cool. I've heard it's actually decent. Like, it's not terrible. So I'm like, okay, cool. Breath of the Wild 2, I was like, it's there. I still need to play Breath of the Wild 1. So,
yeah, I mean, I haven't finished it. Emily's really excited because she is 100% in the game, and it's one of her favorite games of all time.
I feel like I really like Breath of the Wild, but it's like, I remember I started playing it, and there was just like so much that I wanted to do that I was like, I don't know where to start, and now I'm just not gonna play it.
Like, it's fun. I have issues with it. but that's just because I'm not the kind of person that really likes I don't like its item system. And I just don't want to be like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna switch this weapon. Oh, and now I have to stop using it because it just exploded in my hands. But the world is super pretty. The mechanics are really cool. The physics systems are really interesting. Like, the crazy amount of stuff that you can do is kind of nuts. I really just like watching Emily play it more than I actually like playing it myself.
Yeah, and it is like one of those things where it's like I want to stream it at some point, but like there's just so much to do that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be playing. If I start playing this game on stream, I'm not playing anything else.
Right.
Like, I literally won't be doing anything else for like the rest of my days.
Yeah, it took Emily quite a few hours to 100% it. Like, a lot of hours. Granted, you definitely don't need to 100% it, because that means getting 900 of a certain collectible to max out your inventory stats. Ugh. So that isn't not your inventory stats. Your inventory like availability.
Your inventory space.
Slots. Yeah. So like you definitely don't need to do that. Yeah. That by far is probably the most unnecessary, but it's still a very like deep game. There's a lot to it. And so I don't think that's a stream game.
Yeah.
Like for what you try to do.
Yeah, I mean maybe I'll do it like on like an off day. Like maybe I'll start doing it on like I don't know, like maybe I'll just start doing them on like Tuesdays and stuff like that when I'm technically not doing anything else besides reclears. Like if they decide to do something else or something like that. Or if we're like if we decide that we're gonna be doing other stuff on our own, like I can do it then or something like that. I don't know. Like but it is one of those games where it's like playing it by myself when I'm not streaming, I'm just like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing or like I don't know where to even start.
How do I get back up?
I don't know. Speaking of Nintendo, though, Kazuya from Tekken is going to be in Smash. Yeah! And I'm like, cool. I never played Tekken, so I'm like, but I know of the character, so I'm like, that's neat.
Kazuya is my main.
That's pretty cool.
It doesn't mean I actually know how to play him. I play him in Tekken when I pretend that I know how to play Tekken.
Yeah. I will admit I was mildly disappointed about him being the only character in Smash, primarily just because
there's still one more.
So there's still one more, so I still have a little bit of hope. But I actually saw the day before the Nintendo conference, I saw a tweet, and it was just like a little like pencil comic for Halo, and it was the Halo 1, it was the Halo 1 scene, I think? No, Halo 2 scene of like the commander was like, Chief, you want to tell me what you're doing on that battlefield? And it was just Chief as just Master Chief saying, sir, finishing this fight. And it was like, hit Master Chief in Smash. And I'm like, yeah, this is something we want, isn't it?
No, please, God.
Oh, but it'd be so good,
Master Chief does not need to be in Smash.
He doesn't, but it'd be great if he was, though.
Yeah, like, it'd be fun if he was, here's the other thing, is, like, Tekken, granted, used to be a PlayStation-specific thing. It isn't anymore, and he has a longer history, or Kazuya has a longer history in video games than the Master Chief. I'm not going to say he's more popular, because I don't think anybody in their right mind would actually say that Kazuya is more popular than Master Chief, or recognizable, because, like, have you seen that character before?
Yes.
Kazuya. Do you know who he is?
No.
Okay, there you go. But you know who the fuck Master Chief is.
Yeah, I know that he's in Tekken, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
literally all I know.
If I put a picture in front of you before yesterday and said, name this character, would you have been able to do that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Name this character. I don't know. He's that dude from Tekken.
He's the Tekken guy. Is he
a good guy or a bad guy?
He's Mr. Tekken.
Mr. Tekken.
just like Ryu's Mr. Street Fighter.
Uh-oh.
It's the same thing.
Oh, that hurts.
Wait, would you
if
rather
anybody is Mr.
Ken?
Street Fighter, it'd be Ken. Because Ken's all about that notoriety. Ryu doesn't give a shit.
But that's why he's Mr. Street Fighter, though.
Well, okay, yeah. Ryu is exactly Mr. Street Fighter, but Ken would christen himself Mr. Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Ken has a family. Like, he has a wife and child.
Ken would say he's Mr. Street Fighter, but Ryu's actually Mr. Street Fighter.
Yeah, but, like, Ken's actually better, though. Anyway,
we're getting on topic.
What else happened during E3? During Nintendo's conference?
Fatal Frame, new Fatal Frame coming out.
Oh, dude, it's not new.
Okay,
it's not new.
Oh, like remaster Fatal Frame coming out. I say new because it's being released on Switch, and so it's new for the Switch.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Okay, as much as I hate horror games, and you know how much I hate horror games, I actually saw it, and I'm like, I kind of want to play it.
I was definitely considering having you play Fatal Frame 2.
Yeah, like, I saw it, and I'm like, I kind of want to play this. I know I regret it, but, like, it kind of looks really fun. In a terrifying way. Yeah,
the original, or not Fatal Frame, the original, the second one is considered one of the scarier games of all time. And having watched it, it is actually pretty scary. I haven't played it, but... Huh? This is 4. Fatal Frame 4.
Okay. Oh, by the way, quick side note, the corrupted key code things, they cap out at 5.
Okay.
I found out last night.
I got up to 4. What else was there? Fatal Frame was cool.
Fatal Frame was really, really cool. Actually,
Elden Ring is a thing that I'm still not convinced actually exists.
Honestly, I didn't even see Elden Ring. I know we were talking about it briefly last night, and I'm like, I didn't even see this.
WarioWare.
Oh yeah!
I'm excited for WarioWare.
Yeah, dude. I saw that announcement, and I was like, I love WarioWare. Dude, WarioWare was like my jam for DS back in the day. I loved playing WarioWare. So like, seeing the new one come out, I was like, hells yeah, man.
I have a genuine question of who the hell gives a shit about the Game & Watch systems? Who are those being sold for?
What I want to know about the Game & Watch system is, why is it a watch as well?
Because that's what the Game & Watch was, like, 40 years ago.
But, like, why, though?
Because nostalgia. This is for all the people who are, like, 50.
In my head, they said, I was like, it's also a watch, and it tells you the time. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and so who's going to be carrying this around in their pocket?
Yeah, so I'm like, am I just carrying this around just because? Like, why am I doing that?
I think that's the expectation.
Like, that's so... weird.
I don't know. I really don't know. Like, I know that the other ones sold well, but I think they prey on nostalgia. They prey on nostalgia, for one thing. And for two, like the classic systems, they only produce these in a limited quantity. So it gets that FOMO center of your activated activated. So everybody's like, I have to buy it. And it's like, are you really going to play the entirety of Legend of Zelda on a tiny little screen and keep it in your pocket as a fucking timekeeping device?
Yeah.
Like, seriously?
No,
you're not.
Weird.
It's literally just a collector's thing, and I don't see people actively using it. I really don't.
Yeah.
There was another thing.
For Nintendo, they're doing like a Danganronpa collection.
Oh, yeah, but that already exists.
Yeah.
all those games are already out on the PS4.
Yeah.
Which, when I saw it, I was like, oh, hey, there must be more than I thought. And no, those all already exist.
Yeah. I mean, I don't own them, so I was just like, oh, okay, maybe I'll pick them up on Switch or something like that. I don't know. It's just another
I think they're on sale right now on the PS4.
Probably.
And also, the Danganronpa games are, as a collection, are only available in a physical release.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. So otherwise, you have to buy them individually, and they aren't released yet. So if you really want to play them, like, at any point soon, just buy them on the PS4. All
right. That's fair enough.
It's literally just for people who want to play Danganronpa on the go, who really like the game, or who haven't had the chance to play it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, yeah, it's cool. I wanted to put that out there. Like, these aren't new.
Yeah, this isn't new. It's just like it's just another avenue is all.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
You
it's
missed.
Like, okay. I did. This time I jumped. Hardcore.
Peanut and I collectively are very excited for Metroid Dred. A game I did not expect to see exist.
Yeah. Well, so I was like really confused because like they were talking about like
Metroid 5.
where it said Metroid 5 at the beginning, and I'm like, wait, what?
Well, yeah, they were talking about Metroid, and I'm like, oh yeah, so they're probably going to talk about Prime 4, and they're like, we're not going to talk about Prime 4, and then the thing came on, and I was like, oh my god! I started freaking out, and I was like, hold on a second, like even in my head, I was like, wait, what was Metroid 4?
Yeah,
it was Fusion, duh.
Yeah. I was like really confused. Well, I didn't even think about that. I was just confused in the fact that I was like, wait, they say it's Metroid 5, but they're in development of Metroid Prime 4, so they're doing them at the same time? Like, wait, that doesn't make any sense in my head.
Yeah, you haven't played Metroid before, have you?
No, I've never played Metroid, so I was super lost. I was
Metroid.
like, I don't understand any of this.
Yeah. You should definitely go through the Metroid games, and there's a very specific, like, order that you should go in. Well, I mean, you should go through 1 through 4, but there's a version of 1 that is, like, the only version that you play, and that's the GBA version. And then there's, they remade Metroid 2 for the 3DS, and in all honesty, like, it's not my favorite. And after, like, it's good, but actually that helped me. Thank you, thingy. Wow. Oh my god, I made it. Anyway, there's like a counter system, like, and it kind of trivializes a lot of the combat in the game, and it's just not the most fun. And yeah, you can totally get through you can't get through the entire game without using it. Because, unfortunately, some of the bosses have mechanics that require you to use the counter system. So, it's not something that can be completely ignored, which I kind of have a problem with. Because, not that I'm not open to innovation and new mechanics. It's just something that I don't think really benefits the Metroid formula. It just kind of makes it seem a little weird. Anyway, and it's in the new game, and that's the only reason that I bring it up, is that was something in the remake of 2 that I wasn't a huge fan of, and unfortunately they're kind of continuing with. But overall, I'm very excited for the game, because Metroid is one of my favorite series, and...
Yeah, it looked really, really interesting. I will say that, like, it looked really, really cool. As far as the gameplay aspect of it, like, even like as someone who's never played Metroid before, I found myself like watching the trailer and being like, oh god, like if the machine is coming, like I can run, and I was like, oh, okay, this seems like a fun game.
I was watching Peanut's co-stream of that, and we were talking about it the whole time, and it was pretty cool. He actually messaged me today, and he's like, hey. It looks like Dred has a T rating, and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
Wow.
Because now the game has the potential to do some kind of creepy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what... Uh-oh, I missed. What the other ratings have been, but it just like whenever
I assume most of
kids
them are
game,
most likely.
I'm assuming it's just like Samus has always had like the kind of scantily clad outfit. So that's my only indication of why it might have a slightly higher rating. I'd have to go back and look, but anyway, it just because it has this seemingly horror aspect to it now. I'm very excited. I'm very much looking forward to it. So, and I'm willing to just wait and play that until the end of time. If Metroid Prime 4 never comes out. Especially considering I haven't beaten any of the other Metroid Primes. Nice. I should probably do that.
Yeah. What else was there? Oh, Shin Megami Tensei 5. There was a trailer for that.
Yeah.
Which was like, all right, cool. I still need to play. I've
1
never
through
played.
4.
Yeah, 1 through 4. I know that 3 is on the PS4, right?
Yes. I'm about to die.
Yeah, I know that 3 is on the PS4.
Just released.
So there's that.
So there is an elephant in the room that we need to talk about.
Yeah.
And that is Final Fantasy Origin.
Okay. Sure. Okay, let's move to Square then. Let's talk about and that'll be the first thing we talk about is
considering
Origins.
That's like the only thing.
So I only watched the trailer for it. I didn't actually watch the gameplay for it.
Aw, man, I missed.
Based on the trailer, it's a very interesting game. I'm a little like, it is a weird game just because of like God, I don't know how to properly describe it. Like it's a weird game because I'm like, it feels like a weird spin-off, like a remake of the original Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird. And I don't know how to feel about that. Like, granted, I never played the original Final Fantasy, but I'm like, I have a general idea of what it is or what happens in it.
Yeah, which is funny because people give Final Fantasy VII so much shit for like time travel-y, not 7 remake, for like time travel-y ass pull bullshit, but it's like, did you play Final Fantasy 1? That's literally the whole point. Anyway, yeah, what the the thing happened again where I got on a grav lift and I immediately died.
Rip. You know, that happened to me last night too.
So we're out of a thing.
Right. It'll come back, maybe.
But yeah, I don't think you're gonna like it, let alone finish the game, unless you put it on easy mode. Because it's a Team Ninja game, and like outside of Nioh, or Nioh 2 specifically, you haven't played them.
No.
Because you haven't played Ninja Gaiden, have you?
No.
An also notoriously difficult series. So, yeah, that's what you have to look forward to. I watched somebody play the demo yesterday. He died at least 60 times before beating, or 50 times before beating it. Granted, he was playing it on the hardest difficulty. And granted, it's a demo. So, you know, take that for what you will. But it's still made by a team that makes hard games. And they make hard games because they want to. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That just means that they're not for you.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Right, yeah.
And that's the only thing where it's like, I think that kind of sucks for you as a Final Fantasy fan, but is also cool for fans of other series who do like that. It's like, well, at least it's not just another Final Fantasy game, is what I'm assuming some people are thinking. Like, hey, this might actually be for me. This might get me into the series. So it's like, for diehards, this probably kind of sucks. But or diehard traditionalists is what I'll say, for people who are just like turn-based, I don't even like the action aspects of the last few games. Just take me back to Final Fantasy 7 and 10 and 4, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, I look at it as like I'm probably going to get it, and I'm probably not going to like it, but it's something new, and I'll try it.
Yeah.
The cast looks horrible.
Agreed.
I have to say that.
So, like watching the trailer, it was really weird watching the trailer, because I've said weird about this game so many times. But
it's just weird.
it's really
the concept is weird.
I remember
the story about it existing is weird.
It was like, so watching the trailer, the only thing I thought about was, at first before they revealed, like, the guy's like, oh, I have to kill Chaos. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that could reference anything. Like, I just thought about the meme. Like, do you know how little that narrows it down?
Right.
And then, like, looking at the characters, I was like, so is this just Final Fantasy 15 and Devil May Cry put together? Because that was, like, the vibe that I got off of the characters. Of, like, it's just Final Fantasy 15 and Devil May Cry smashed together. And I'm like, I kind of hate it, low-key. But at the same time, you know, we're here.
I have to share this.
So yeah, it was like, again, the entire time it just felt weird, and I was like, I don't, like, it looks cool, but at the same time I'm like, okay, I guess, you know?
I'm gonna put this in the link dump.
Where did
the link dump go?
It should be there. Link dump is right under my name in the Twitch rooms. I will say that another game that I thought looked really interesting, that I'm kind of looking forward to, is the Babylon Fall. Babylon's Fall looked really cool.
What was that?
It was like a 4-player co-op. I think it looked like a dungeon crawling type game. Is developed by Platinum Games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw somebody made a tweet about that, and they're like, I thought that the people were commenting being like, I thought that the quality of the video is just super compressed, but that's apparently just the art style they were going for. And I looked at it, and it's like, yeah, the backgrounds look kind of blurry.
Yeah.
In like a painted way, but not like in a good
painted way.
Yeah, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, it looked interesting enough. I was like, okay, you know, it's a trailer. There's not too much to go off of, so, you know, curb my expectations, but, you know, it's there. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll see what that is. Final Fantasy Originals are getting pixel remasters.
I saw that
Neato.
Today, actually. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I was like looking forward to that, you know. Always down for remasters, especially older Final Fantasy games. After playing, I won't lie, like, after playing through 6 and loving every minute of it, that has motivated me to play the other, like, older Final Fantasy games more now. Because I'm like, I loved 6 so much. And it's definitely a Final Fantasy game that I didn't think I would love so much. Like, I didn't think I would actually enjoy as much as I did.
6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, 6 was an absolutely phenomenal game.
I'm actually kind of sad that, like, more frustrated that those are getting pixel remasters, because I'm pretty sure I bought 5 and 6 on Steam so that I could mod them to put pixel graphics on. Because I don't... Oh, shit, we both died. Yeah. I don't think those games look good as their Steam versions, and I'm sure that's why they're re-releasing those. It's just like, why did it take you so goddamn long?
Yeah.
And I also hope that, at least with 5, that it is the like Game Boy Advanced version, because that had like a bestiary and like expanded not story, but there were like secret bosses and stuff that weren't in any of the other versions. And but chances are Square is going to do the Square thing and be like, no, everyone wants the originals, right? They don't want the definitive version. Because it's Square, and if they can get money out of it, they will. They're like the Disney of
video games.
It's like they have this long history of really good games that people want to replay, and they're like, yeah, we'll give you what you want in the worst way possible.
But the problem is that we all know that this is true, and even Square is like, we know it's true, but you're still gonna buy it anyways, and we're like,
I'm still gonna buy all of them. Yeah, I'm still gonna buy it. That's the problem. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna buy it, but I'm still gonna emulate it.
I'm still gonna be mad about it.
I'm still gonna be mad about it. Like, if you don't release the version of Final Fantasy V that I want, I'm just gonna emulate the one that you didn't sell me. So whatever.
Even though I'm still buying it.
Yep. Whatevs.
You're still contributing to the problem.
I don't see the problem.
Oh, well, I mean, you do. You just don't want to do anything about it.
I'm ignoring the problem.
I see it. I just choose not to acknowledge it. Is all.
Yeah. I don't know what this sign says because I can't read. It's exactly that.
What else was that at Square? Oh, Life is Strange getting
meh.
Getting
I don't care about Life is Strange. Emily does.
Yeah, I enjoyed the original Life is Strange. I never finished the second one. I think I got like 2 episodes into it, and then I very quickly just lost motivation to play it.
The characters are just really awful versions of people that I have to live near.
Yeah,
which is saying something, because I live in Portland, and these are real kinds of people, but they're written by people who have never actually interacted with those people.
Which characters? 2 or 1?
Both. They both take place in the Pacific Northwest.
All right, fair enough.
Like, I'm around the types of high school teenagers that these are supposed to be, and like, or not that I'm surrounded by teenagers, but like my friends and people that I know and went to high school with are like these people or were like these people. And they're written by 40-year-old dudes who have, like, 16-year-old daughters and think that they know how 16-year-olds think. And that's, like, the dialogue is really not good in any of those games. But the situations are real, so I give that, like the feelings that they try to make these characters have are real. They just come off across as very, like, fake. Because they're not written well.
Right.
They want to write a good, compelling teen story, but I just don't think that they know how to do that.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that Life is Strange 1, I think, was fairly compelling. Before the Storm was also really compelling because it was a prequel to Life is Strange. 2 was just like, I played through 2 and it was just so hard for me to get into it. I think it's just because it dipped too far into the supernatural.
And I actually really liked watching Emily play 2 more than I liked watching Emily play 1.
Really?
I hated almost every single one of the characters in 1.
That's fair enough. It's very hard to like. I also found myself not liking the characters in 1, but at the same time, I think that's why I respect them a lot more. Because it's like, I don't think
a single one of them was a good.
No,
like none of them was a good person.
Well, I think that's the point, though.
I mean, yeah,
it's like that's kind of the point. Like
painting all of these teenagers as evil egomaniacs, because that's pretty much all they ended up being, is not really good. When you're like, yeah, it's a teen-focused story about kids with problems, and it's like, yeah, but none of them have any redeeming qualities whatsoever. Why am I supposed to feel bad for them?
Did you watch Emily play Before the Storm?
Yeah, I watched her play all of them.
Okay. Because I think Before the Storm does a decent enough job at like kind of painting a picture for
Chloe.
Oh, I don't remember what their names are. Chloe and what's her name?
Sam?
Maybe? I want to say it's Max, but that's Life is Strange 1.
Max.
No, because that's Life is Strange 1.
Max isn't in the. I don't know.
Chloe's the one with blue hair, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while. So whoever the girl was, the other girl.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember, but
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I think it does a decent enough job at like kind of fleshing those two characters out a little bit more.
But they're still both horrible people.
Yeah, it was
specifically Chloe. Chloe is kind of the worst
Chloe
person I've ever...
not great.
Like,
Chloe's a pretty
I've
not
met
great
people
person.
like Chloe.
I've met
it's
people like
I'm
that
gonna
as
pretend
well.
to be really
like,
nice and edgy and cool, but actually I'm just an asshole. Like, I'm sorry. You're just mean.
Or she's just dumb, because a lot of the times, like, because you always have those, like, angsty characters that are like, oh, God, I'm trying to fix everything, but I just keep making it worse. Like, yeah, because you're stupid.
Because you're dumb.
Fucking dumb. But yeah, Life is Strange, the new Life is Strange game, True Colors, looked okay, you know? It's like, alright.
I think I got a really good ignition code just now.
Dude, I have been trying to get a new ignition code for so long, because, like, I like mine, but it's actually just, like, not great.
Countermass with blinding and spike grenades, lead from gold, thresh, and vorpal weapon.
That's pretty good. I got one last night that was spike grenades, blinding grenades, field prep, one for all.
It does have velocity instead of blast.
All I wanted, if it didn't have field prep, I would have been happy about it, but it was not. But yeah, True Colors, okay. You know, Life is Strange looked nice, looking good. Legend of Mana remaster, cool.
Meh. Wait, that already exists. That's not new.
Yeah, but it's so then. Oh, it's coming to no, it's coming out in June. I think there's a collection.
What am I thinking of?
You're thinking of the collection.
No. Secret of Mana.
That, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking of Secret of Mana.
Yeah, Secret of Mana came out. But Legend of Mana, which I don't know which one's which, I'll be honest.
The Mana series is...
I'm pretty sure there are three of them, and I'm just like, I just don't remember which ones there are.
Yeah, okay. So it was Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, Trials of Mana. That's what I was thinking of. Trials of Mana just got a re-release. Like 2 years ago.
Okay. Anyways, so there's a Nier game coming to mobile, and I'm like, fuck, I don't play mobile, so that sucks.
Oh, Reincarnation.
I'm like, I don't play mobile, so that sucks. Hitman Sniper.
I'm probably gonna try
mobile,
it out.
Neato.
What?
Hitman Sniper.
Oh God,
mobile.
gross.
Like, okay, I guess.
Again, that already existed.
I don't know, man.
It's probably just a
I never heard
version,
of it.
But
yeah, I think it might be just a new version. I never heard of it, so I was like, all right, cool. I guess, you know, neat. Moving on.
Death Stranding director's cut.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, it's a PS5 exclusive, which is really frustrating because I thought I bought like the director's cut version because I bought the PC version after it, like, all the bugs had come out and all the content was in the game. But now, no, this is my true vision. It's like, God damn it, Kojima, you motherfucker.
I don't know what made me think about this, but it's quick tangent. There's one of my friends, she was a coworker of mine when I worked at my uncle's dentist office. But she texted me a couple days ago and she's like, hey, so I have a kind of a dumb question, but can I play PC games on my Mac? And I'm like, that's like, she doesn't play video games at all. So I'm like, valid question. Technically, no.
Yes.
Technically yes and technically no.
If the game
Steam
supports it,
if the game specifically says it can be played on Mac, yes. If it can't, then you have to jump through some hoops to be able to play on your Mac. And,
but that's, meaning you parse your computer to have
without getting into the details of it, I'll just say no unless it says otherwise. Unless it says otherwise, hard no. And she's like, okay,
hard no.
I'll just play because I just bought a game and I'll just play it on my old laptop that I have. And I'm like, oh cool, what game is it? And she sent me a picture of Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry for your friend. That's so upsetting for multiple reasons.
She sent me that picture. I'll just read you the conversation that I had.
I don't have the heart.
I didn't have the heart to tell her. But I go, good luck, have fun. From what I've heard, though, Cyberpunk has been difficult to run because of how high-end its graphics are, and so playing on an old machine is really difficult. And she says, okay, thanks, I can't wait to try it out, I'll let you know how it works. And then I said, okay, if you can get it to run, though, I heard it's really fun.
Yeah, it is really fun.
I have not heard anything back yet, so I'm like a little concerned.
Yeah. If it works, which... Nah. I've, like, my computer can't run it.
Yeah.
Super great.
She sent me that picture, and I was like, oh, honey. Honey, no.
Why?
I felt so bad.
I'm sorry for your friend.
Alright, moving on to, quickly to Ubisoft. I watched Ubisoft just because, I've worked with them in the past, so I was like, okay, I'll see what other stuff they're packing. Avatar game.
Rainbow.
Neato, I guess.
Oh,
God. That was, that's there. Mario Rabbids, we already talked about. Far Cry 6 looked interesting. I've never played a Far Cry game, but they always seemed really compelling for the most part.
Giancarlo Esposito's a good actor. That's all I know. I played Far Cry Blood Dragon, and that's my only experience playing Far Cry, and it was one of the best video game experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, I've heard Far Cry,
really
I think
good.
Original Far Cry 3, most people are like people really,
like 2,
really
3,
like that one.
A lot of people like 4.
Yeah,
not a lot of people like 5.
Yeah, 5 was was good. Not people didn't like that, and then they also have they're doing something else with it. I think it's part of their season pass where that's all the villain origin stories, which was really interesting. I was okay,
yeah,
that's interesting. Apparently I didn't know this, but Ubisoft has a movies and film division.
Huh?
Because
they made Agent 47.
Yeah, I never knew that they had a film division, but I guess they're making a new movie called Werewolves Within, which is based on the 2016 multiplayer VR game. And it's kind of like a comedy whodunit movie from what it looked like in the trailers. So I was like, okay, that seems fun,
Fun.
There's a new thing to Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I still haven't played Origins, so I'm pretty behind on that. Just Dance is Just Dance.
These are just getting worse the more you talk.
Look, it's not like they were gonna be great, okay? Rainbow Six Siege getting crossplay, good for them if you play Rainbow Six Siege.
Wait, why is Rainbow Six Siege getting crossplay when they're making a new game?
Because the other game is a 3-player co-op PvE dungeon crawler game.
Okay.
Called Extraction, which
So they're just gonna keep going with Siege. All right, I mean that's fair. Whatever.
Yeah, they're just gonna keep going with Siege. It looked interesting. I kind of want to pick it up. It looked really interesting, especially because it wasn't PvP, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool actually. Riders Republic. Riders Republic, I see games like that, and part of me is like, I really want to play that game, but not because it looks fun, but it looks really relaxing.
What is this?
It's what's the sport I'm looking for? It's like a BMX extreme sport game.
Yeah, okay.
That you do time travels, tricks. There's
it's like Trials.
Yeah, kind of like Trials, but it's more open world.
I need to go back to the helm because I'm stupid.
One of the gameplay modes that they were showing off in the trailer was like a 4v4 team trick match. And it was
okay,
you do combos on different installations on the map, and whoever has the highest combo captures that installation, and at the end of the round, whoever has the most installations captured wins. So that looks really, really cool. And then, like, I guess the whole point is, like, boosting your reputation, and, like, you do that, obviously, through trials and other things, and, like, but, like, if you want to just, like, chill out and just, like, go explore the map, you can do that, and you get progress, you get, like, you rank up points and progress like that, too, so it was like, okay, you know, it looks like a really chill, fun game, and I was like, alright, you know, I might pick it up, it looked really cool. Rocksmith, you know, if you want to learn how to play guitar,
they did a Rocksmith trailer?
Yeah, they apparently Rocksmith is upgrading to Rocksmith Plus, which is a subscription service for its popular guitar teaching software that lets you plug in an electric guitar via USB adapter and learn popular songs by following along with notes as they appear on the screen. You can also sign up for an upcoming closed beta starting today, and they have like tutorials. It's basically like YouTube but for guitar specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, you know, it's not my thing, but hey, cool. Rainbow Six Extraction, three-player co-op PvE, cool. I think that was it for the most part, for Ubisoft at least. What are we talking about? We talked about Microsoft briefly. We did Bethesda. Well, we briefly touched on Bethesda. What other stuff did Bethesda have? I know there was at least one other thing. I'm pretty sure there was at least one more thing, and I'm not thinking of it. Let's see. We talked about Halo Infinite, Starfield, Fallout in Space, Redfall looked cool. Forza 5, that's there.
Oh, it's not Forza 5. It's Forza Horizon 5.
Horizon 5, sorry. Forza Horizon
difference. 5. You're gonna say it right.
Sorry.
I really like
man.
Forza.
I'm sorry.
Here's the difference.
I didn't know, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
say
bro.
It right.
I'm sorry.
I'm a little disappointed it's in Mexico. Wow. Just because it needs to go to Japan.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Why does it need to go to Japan? Because
it's a street racing fucking haven, and everyone just drifts in that game anyway. And Tokyo and Japan is just known for their amazing racing and drift scene. Just take it to Tokyo already. The first game was in goddamn Colorado. And then it's like the first game was in Colorado, the second game was in like Italy, France, the third game was in Australia, the fourth game was in Britain, and the fifth game is now in Mexico. Go to Japan.
Look, well, they'll get there, man. They'll run out of places eventually.
Yeah, the last place they'll go is Japan. Because they know that's everyone wants it to go.
Watch, Forza Horizon 6 is just going to be
the
in, like...
moon.
The moon. Not even the moon. It's going to be just in, like, Antarctica. Just, like, the most randomest place. Just, like, why?
Like, son of
a
bitch.
Psychonauts 2 comes out this summer. That's cool. That's exciting. Did I play Psychonauts 1? I played Psychonauts 1. I have
not played Psychonauts.
I'm actually looking forward to Psychonauts 2, primarily because I backed it. So my name is in the credits, actually, in Psychonauts 2. Nice. It's supposed to be, because I'm one of the backers.
Did you get a code for it?
I'm supposed to get one when it comes out.
Oh, sweet.
And it was supposed to come out, like, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's Void Strikes, by the way.
Okay. But I have been getting, I've actually been getting, like, periodic emails of like, hey, you know, we're doing this and this is development, and like one of the last emails I got was you know, we're finalizing like the credits for them, so we're gonna send out a survey, and we want to make sure that you check all your information, because your name is going to be in the credits, or if you want a different name to be in the credits, you know, make sure you put that in. So theoretically my name is in the credits of Psychonauts 2.
That's cool.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Outer Worlds 2, I never played Outer Worlds 1. It looked cool, but I never played it. Battlefield we touched upon. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl.
Oh, yeah. I'm like remotely interested. Stalker is supposed to be a pretty cool game, and I never got in like super deep into it, but from what I played, it's actually really enjoyable. It's not easy. It's actually like strangely difficult.
Okay.
And doesn't run super great on modern hardware.
Oh, awkward.
Yeah.
Was that Stalker 2? That was either I'm thinking of the same game, or there was another Chernobyl game that was announced at E3, but I don't quite remember.
I think
it was announced at the PC Game Show, but I don't quite remember, honestly. But there's, a Plague Tale, cool. I've heard a Plague Tale is actually really good.
Is it getting a second game?
Yeah, it's Plague Tale Requiem is
what
it's called. I've heard it's really good though. I never played it though. There's another new game called Contraband, which I haven't heard anything about it. This is all from the Microsoft conference, so I didn't watch the Microsoft conference actually.
Neither did I.
See, this is all new to me now. I'm like, oh,
the only ones that I even remotely paid attention to were Square and Nintendo.
Yeah,
because I was expecting the Switch Pro to get announced, which it didn't.
I mean, wouldn't the Switch Pro technically just be the Switch Lite that they released?
No, God, no. That's way worse.
I know, but what that's what I'm saying is, like, I've never known Nintendo to release Pro versions of their consoles before.
The 3DS XL.
But was
and the new 3DS XL?
But was that better?
And the new... Yes.
Because I always just kind of thought
the new 3DS XL had a better processor. It had the C-Stick. It had, I think, a better screen. And so,
okay,
yes,
that's one
the
example.
New 3DS XL.
Okay, that's one example.
They are known for iterating on their stuff. Not necessarily making pro versions, but they do make a lot of different versions.
They make iterations, but when I think of a pro version, I think of, an actual, maybe not like an actual improvement. That sounds kind of harsh. But there is, the iteration is significantly different. Not just, oh, it's kind of different.
Yeah, like, so, granted, we don't know if it's happening or not. There's just a lot of speculation around it, and there's a lot of people that are like, oh, yeah, it's going to happen, it's going to have these specs and whatever. And going into it, before there was a lack of announcement, there was several reports that were talking about projected rumored specs or leaked specs or whatever, and it was like, the thing that they were talking about was that it could do 4K. And I'm like, that's gonna suck ass, because you know what that's gonna mean? That every game is gonna run at 15 FPS, because I don't know if you've played the actual Switch before. That game that system does not run games at high frame rates.
No.
And if they're prioritizing 4K, that means that frame rates are going to go even worse.
Also, yeah, and even if they are prioritizing frame rates, then graphics-wise, that's not high.
No. And the other thing was that was kind of the most disappointing to me. Granted, this is no longer not that it was ever confirmed, but we just know that Switch Pro is not currently announced. Yeah. Was that this speculation was talking about that it would still retain a 720p screen, and I'm like, dude, my phone has a 2K screen. Like, in a purely hypothetical situation, if they were to do a Switch Pro, it needs to have a 1080p screen for a handheld. It needs to. That's like a mandatory thing. Most phones nowadays, I don't think there's a single phone that is a smartphone made that doesn't at least have a 1080p screen. They're not hard to produce.
Yeah.
Two is, and this goes for game companies in general. It's not just for like freaking Nintendo, and they're not a console yet. Stop prioritizing 4K, please, for the love of Christ. prioritize frame rate, because like your game may be pretty, but if it doesn't run, then I'm not going to play your game. If I can't play it above 20 FPS, then I don't care how pretty it looks. It's nobody's going to like it.
Yeah.
Quality in performance over quality in picture is so much more important, and I really wish that not only would game companies realize that, but consumers as well, because people bitch and bitch and bitch about, oh man, the game looks great, but it just doesn't run well. And it's like, yeah, because that's all you people care about is like 4K, but you don't even know what that like means for making the game.
It's also awkward that I feel like consumers don't realize that if it runs well, then it will perform well.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And if it performs well, then it'll look well.
Like you're not gonna care if it's 1080p or 4K if you enjoy playing it. Like if it runs at 4K 60 FPS, then yeah, you're gonna like the 4K version better. But if it can't run at a 1080p 60 FPS and you're then making it run in 4K, you have to understand that's going to make the entire experience worse. That like it goes back to, you can't polish a turd.
Yeah.
If it's bad to start out with, making it slightly prettier is not going to make it better. And that goes for like systems, like hardware. Like if your game cannot support, or if your system can't like typically run games at 60 FPS, making it 4K is not going to help that at all. Breath of the Wild in 4K is not going to run at 60 FPS. It's not even going to run at 30 FPS, and it can barely run at 30 FPS now. So yeah, like in the hypothetical scenario that they do make one, I really hope that they give the option to do a performance mode, or at least manage the hardware in a way that will allow for people who don't have a 4K monitor, and it'll be like, hey, this person only has 1080p, so I will reallocate how I have to distribute my performance and memory so that, hey, this person will just use 60 FPS, or what, like we'll reallocate our engine to prioritize performance, because there's also a lot of people out there who don't have a 4K TV or
I think
or
a good
monitor,
majority
and
of people
can't afford
don't have
it.
4K monitors, honestly.
Yeah, the majority of people own it, but that doesn't necessarily mean like 4K is not super fun to play games on. I've done it. Like it sometimes is a little overwhelming, and more often than not, it just makes the game perform worse. I prefer a game that will look worse but run better. I used to play on a potato-driven PC, but it could run games at 60 FPS. They didn't look good, but they ran very smooth, and I enjoyed my experience more than something that I could that looked pretty, but I could barely run. So, I mean, that's just me personally and my 2 cents on a hypothetical situation. And I hope that people will kind of see things like that going into the future. Like, as consumers, it's not just about quality, like visual quality. Trending towards 8K gaming, it's just a fad.
Yeah.
Like when 3D was a thing for movies. Like it's gonna
the awkward thing is that 3D is always a fad. Like it always kind of goes away, and then it comes back, and then everyone treats it like,
back.
oh, 3D, like it's such a new thing. Like,
so
no,
good.
We've literally seen this several times before. You just don't remember because it was bad.
And like it hurt your eyes, or it was really expensive, or all of the above. Like my dad bought a 3D TV. He used it once. I used it often because I really did like it, but I kind of had to go out of my way to do it. You had to buy 3D DVDs.
Yeah.
You had to buy batteries for the glasses. Like, yeah, that was legit a thing.
Unfortunate.
there were batteries for the glasses. My friend sat on a pair of the glasses, so the lens cracked. So and those were $60 pairs of 3D glasses.
Jesus.
It's not worth it. It's not a good idea. I can't recommend it to anybody. And the same thing goes with 8K. Like, just get a 1080p monitor. Get a 1440p monitor that has a 144 hertz refresh rate. Like, frame rate over quality. Please. It's important. Anyway.
Moving on. All right,
Moving on.
We talked about... So that's pretty much everything for Bethesda. We talked about Ubisoft. We talked about Square. What else was there?
I can't think of anything else important. Like, legit.
Yeah, I can't think of too much else.
What did Capcom do?
Called... I don't know. There's a new game called Contraband coming out, which is a co-op open world, coming exclusive to Xbox and PC. So, cool.
Resident Evil Village is getting DLC. They put out another new trailer for Monster Hunter Stories 2.
Oh yeah,
which
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't care about it, but I looked at it. I was like, this looks kind of fun.
It does.
Like, it's just like an RPG Monster Hunter, and I'm like, that looks kind of fun.
When I saw gameplay, I was like, oh, so it's just shittier looking Rise. Oh, hey, it's turn-based. All right, I'm getting it.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that looks really, really fun. Like, shit.
It's literally what happened in my brain. I'm like, oh, okay. Man, my computer is having a rough time right now.
Dude, my computer always has a rough time.
It might be because I have a bunch of tabs open on YouTube.
Oh god, why do you... You're one of those people.
Well, it was right before you and I started this.
Man.
Yeah, that's helping. Okay.
I'm trying to think of anything else. Okay. So, alright, so we've kind of touched upon this. Let's kind of talk about what were things that you were hoping to see at E3 but didn't see anything.
Resident Evil 4 remake. I was hoping to see Street Fighter 6. I was hoping to see I don't really care about any. I saw Forza Horizon 5, which I was not expecting to exist. So that was cool. Square. I was hoping to see more about Final Fantasy 16.
Okay.
Actually, like,
yeah.
As a pipe dream, I wanted them to say something about Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 2, but I knew it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But I did want them to like say or show something about 16, like maybe some character art, or like it didn't have to be a trailer. It could have been anything.
Yeah. Just
but
like
I would have liked to see something else. I would have liked to see anything that wasn't Final Fantasy Origin. Anything from 16 that was not Final Fantasy Origin. Cause yeah, I don't care about that game.
It's fair.
There was Capcom, Ubisoft. I don't play Ubisoft games anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be super excited for all of the Assassin's Creeds, and after Odyssey, I don't give a shit. I don't play Rainbow Six.
So
Nintendo.
You know this, and I've briefly talked about this online beforehand, but I've done some projects with Ubisoft beforehand.
Yep.
And some of the projects that I've done previously, which I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to talk about them because the games have already come out now. But I previously worked on one of the games I previously helped them with was Assassin's Creed Valhalla, actually.
Mm-hmm. Which didn't release.
Which was really funny though, because I was hanging out with some of my friends one day. We were getting lunch, and we were talking about it. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's like you did some stuff with Ubisoft." I'm like, yeah. I'm like, "Can you talk about it?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I can at least talk about one game because I know it's come out already." But I helped with a little bit with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and one of my friends was like, "I hate you," and I go, "Why?" And he goes, "I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and I love Assassin's Creed. It is literally the worst Assassin's Creed game that I ever played." And I'm like, okay, I don't see how this is my fault. Like, I didn't make the damn thing.
Yeah,
I just helped play it. Like, yeah. My job was to say nice things about a game. Any bad things, I just didn't choose to talk about. Like,
well, why not?
Because it's not my job.
It's not your job to QA. I thought you were a QA tester.
I was not a QA tester. I was a gameplay demoist. What the fuck is your job?
Okay.
I was a gameplay demoist. So my job was to showcase the game to people and talk about all the cool things that you can do in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Okay.
I promoted the game.
Yeah, okay, it kind of is your fault.
Wait! No, because my job was to promote the game, and then any problems, I'd be like, okay, I'll let the devs know about that, and hopefully we can get those resolved. After that, it's out of my hands, alright?
Okay.
It's out of my hands at that point. I'm just the messenger.
Kind of thinking about shooting the messenger on this one.
Wow, rude.
kind of thinking it's warranted.
Look, when I played, I had a fun time. Granted, I played a demo, so
yeah. I mean, how often though do demos really not turn out to be the final product in this day and age?
That's a good point.
Not often, because most of the time the demos are like, they say it's beta, but it's like beta version 0.98. So, it's like that far away from being version 1. Yeah, I give so few shits about I was not Void.
Honestly,
God damn it.
Rio feels bad. You even told me it was Void.
I know, I switched all of my gear to be Void, but I didn't switch my subclass.
God damn it.
Guess we're doing an extra
We're doing it again. Alright. Once we get through these two, let me switch characters at least.
Okay. Yeah, I don't give enough of a shit about
I will say that
Xbox and Bethesda.
I'm not gonna say Ubisoft makes good games or bad games. I'll say Ubisoft makes games. Your opinion of them is your opinion of them.
I liked their older stuff.
That's
what I'll say.
I would say that when Ubisoft doesn't make mainstream stuff, like, so when Ubisoft makes games that doesn't have to do with like their main series, they're pretty okay. They're not like great, but they're okay. They're like, okay, this is fun.
They used to do licensed show video games. Like they used to make a lot of DC games, which was awesome. They made one of my favorite Batman games of all time that isn't from the Batman Arkham series. People tend to forget about that because their logo used to be very different. It was like a rainbow and stuff.
Yeah.
Trials is good. Yeah. I really like Trials.
Is fun. Really like Trials. I mean, people still play Rainbow Six. That's kind of one of their staple
Rainbow Six
series
Siege
now.
is really good. I'm just not a fan of PvP shooters.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Extraction. It actually looks really, really fun. So it's like, it's cause I mean, again, I'm not a PvP person, so yeah, I'm just kind of like, okay, it's you get to play as the operative of Rainbow Six Siege, like, that's cool, and then it's a PvE experience, like, okay, that seems really, really exciting. I think that can be really, really good. I'm trying to think, there wasn't, like, I will say that, like, look, watching E3 this year, there really wasn't too much that, like, I went, wow, this is awesome, Like, a lot of it was,
for
me
was Metroid 5.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
My wow moment was Metroid 5.
Okay.
So I was like, never in a million years would I have even thought that would start to exist. And then that came up, and I was like, oh my god, I legit, like, I freaked out. Threw my hands up, like, holy shit!
I didn't have anything like that for this year at E3. I just kind of, everything I saw was like, okay, cool. I'll probably pick it up.
They were mostly like, That's cool. Is it turn-based? I'll probably buy it.
Awkwardly watching through E3 this year, I was really just sort of whelmed the entire time. I'm like, okay, that looked cool. That looks nice. I'll play that maybe. I won't play that,
I was definitely underwhelmed. Nintendo definitely had the best conference.
Okay, yeah, okay, so let's talk about this.
Conference.
Who won E3 this year?
That was 100% Nintendo.
Nintendo?
I think the question is who lost E3? And I'm pretty sure it was Bethesda. It wasn't Sony because they weren't there. And I will say, I'm still more excited about Sony games than I am anybody else.
Sony won for not participating. I think they won because they didn't participate.
Yeah, we're not going to be a part of this shit show. And in all honesty, getting a new Smash character is really cool, but there's not going to be a better Smash character reveal than Joker at the VGAs a couple years ago. There will never be a cooler Smash reveal than that.
Oh,
I don't
right,
think.
Yeah.
You
said Joker, and I thought Joker. DC Joker, and I was like, he's not in Smash. Like, wait, what?
I will say that Sephiroth's reveal was awesome, but it was done in a Nintendo Direct. And, so it wasn't done at a big event. Not that it wasn't awesome, but it wasn't, this premiere big stage thing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really competing for anything.
Chet says, I thought that Extraction was part of Rainbow Six Siege, but I think it's actually separate games, and I'm not sure about that. Yeah. No. Extraction. For Rainbow Six. Yeah, Extraction is a separate game, which is
No. She said something about Bayonetta.
Oh, yeah. She thought that Bayonetta's reveal was really neat.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
But that was also for... Ultimate, not...
Yeah.
Yeah, her reveal was cool. Smash. Yeah, in terms of all Smash, yeah, Bayonetta's was pretty awesome. Clouds was also pretty dope.
Clouds was good, yeah.
But yeah, I just everything. No one expected Joker. Granted, nobody ever thought that Cloud was ever going to be in the game, and he almost wasn't even in Ultimate, because of legal shit.
Yeah.
Which that would have been so upsetting if Cloud hadn't been able to make it. But I'm glad he was, because Cloud is great. Anyway, so what did you want to see that you didn't get to see?
Man, honestly, it's hard to say, really. Like what
games are you looking forward to, or do you want to exist?
That's
from really Capcom, Square, Bethesda, Microsoft, Ubisoft.
I think I'm with you that I would have liked to see more Final Fantasy 16 stuff. I definitely would have liked to see that. Yeah, it's fuck. There was a game that was revealed, I think last year. It's we only have a trailer for it. But it was a guy that every time he dies he comes back to life.
That's
fuck.
So generic at this point.
I know. Fuck. I can't remember what it was, but it's I think it was revealed. It was revealed, I think I want to say last year or the year before. But I don't remember what it. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's by the developers who made. I think it's also by Arcane. I think. Arcane Studio. Deathloop, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, Deathloop. Which is made by Arcane Studios.
I have not even seen this.
You've never heard of this game? It was revealed... Nope. God, I don't even remember when it was revealed, honestly. But it's supposed to come out... Oh, actually, it's a Bethesda game, JK. It's a Bethesda game. Published by Bethesda, developed by Arcane.
That's Arcane is a subsidiary of Bethesda.
Yeah.
Because Bethesda published Dishonored. Bethesda
it's actually supposed to come out this September, actually. JK, so maybe that's why we never saw anything. But it's supposed to come out this September. But it's an assassination game. It's an assassination multiplayer experience, is apparently what it's advertised as. Which is interesting because I thought it was a single player game, low key. Yeah, but it's coming on PS5 and PC, so I would have liked to see more on that. I actually thought it was going to come out next year, so that's probably why we didn't see anything there. As far as Pokemon stuff, I would have liked to see more Pokemon stuff, honestly. I know they talked about, I know that Pokemon revealed Brilliant, Diamond, Shining.
I would have loved to see them cancel those games.
I saw your meme in the Discord talking about we're going to talk about Breath of the Wild 2. It's canceled. 2. Okay.
Canceled. Thank you, AG and Fume. Yeah, God, that was great.
I really like
Emily sent me that. I was like, yes! We have some information for you from AG Inafune on Breath of the Wild 2. Cancel. Thank you, AG. Fuck.
But yeah, I would have liked to see some more Pokemon stuff for sure. Especially the Pokemon
Arceus
Legends
looks dope.
Game. Arceus looked really cool. I was actually I think on TikTok I saw like a fan-made Pokemon game. It was like Sword and Shield, but it was for Diamond and Pearl, and it was like a fan-made like trailer, and it was it's a shame that the new Diamond and Pearl is not gonna look like this, and that
there are so many fan Pokemon games out there that honestly rival the modern ones, that at this point, like, I am always excited for a new Pokemon game, and I like the art style for Arceus looks cool, even if it ends up being bad. Like, there's so many out there that I don't think you can really get tired of sorry, not that you can't get tired. I don't think that there is like there's not enough Pokemon, There's always something else that you can find, which is cool. Like, because of the way that modding has gotten, and like emulation is so much easier to do now, it's really cool, and I'm really glad that things are the way they are. I am excited for Arceus. I'm not excited for Diamond and Pearl. I don't think those are going to do well, especially considering it's only that era's Pokedex.
Yeah,
it's like, so there's no transferring between Sword and Shield. There's no it's not even Platinum, so it's the Diamond and Pearl stories.
That's true. It's
a way worse looking engine. Even like, I think the DS version looks better.
Yeah,
like, I mean, just because it's 3D does not mean it looks better.
I mean, at the same time, like, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire wasn't that bad, all things considered. Like, sure,
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire look great, in my opinion.
Sure,
like, if you're talking like a bridge between like Sword and Shield and a GBA or DS game, I think Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were perfect. That is everything that I need in a Pokemon game. Like, I don't need it to look like Sword and Shield. I loved the slightly chibi sprites, but not these like really gross looking sprites that they have for Diamond and Pearl. Like, they straight up, they look horrible. I'm not commenting on like the Pokemon themselves, because those are literally just ripped from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and they're not ripped from Sword and Shield because Sword and Shield ripped them from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. If you didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to take it with a grain of salt of that, like, it could, just because it looks like trash, maybe, who knows, maybe we'd be surprised and it actually plays fairly decently,
I mean, it's probably gonna play like Diamond and Pearl.
I think worst case scenario, it'll play like Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And I'm not saying Heart Gold, Soul Silver are bad games, because I love Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Heart Gold, Soul Silver are probably my favorite Pokemon games that I've ever played. To be completely honest,
they're the second to third best Pokemon games of all time.
And so, I mean, I think worst case scenario, I'm hoping that the new Diamond Pro plays like that, and I'm like, if they play like that, that's fine. I'm totally okay with it. I'm not even gonna be mad.
It's
Would
one
I
of
like
those
them to do
times...
more? Sure. But like, hey, if you're just doing the bare minimum, I'm like, okay, sure, why not? You got it.
This is one of those times where, I'm usually a gameplay over visuals person,
as we previously just talked about. Yes.
Yeah, but gameplay has to be fun. I'm not like talking about it has to run good. But in this case, because it's a remake, it kind of has to look better than it does.
Sure. I think, saying it looks better, it definitely doesn't look better, but I will say that it looks different, and I'm like, okay. I've accepted that it just looks different, and I'm like, you know what? Sure.
It just doesn't look like Pokemon to me. It looks like... It looks too much like a handheld game.
I think it looks
not a handheld game. I don't mean I meant like a phone game.
I think it looks really similar to like their spin-off Pokemon games. It's not like it doesn't look like a mainstream
Pokemon games look
Pokemon
good.
Games.
I
guess
because Rangers on it, Rangers looks cool. Which is also a game that they don't support anymore, which kind of sucks because Rangers was awesome.
Right.
But I don't know. You also have to consider that these are games made by a Japanese developer, and phone games are really big in Japan, especially that kind of phone aesthetic.
Yeah.
In design.
That's something that I was kind of disappointed about with E3 this year. I felt like there was a lot of mobile stuff. There was a lot of mobile stuff this year, and I was just kind of like, eh.
Because phone stuff sells.
Yeah.
Which really sucks.
Yeah. It's really awkward too, because a lot of my friends, they play a lot mobile games. They really like playing mobile games. I hate mobile games.
I hate them.
I absolutely despise playing mobile games.
My phone is for music and porn. I mean, music.
My phone's for YouTube and reading comics.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, YouTube and fuck, YouTube and music.
There you go.
Gotta get this straight.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that's... I don't even use my phone for the phone function.
Unfortunately, I do, because my family constantly wants to call me for stuff.
Yeah, my family doesn't want to call me. It's okay, I don't want to call them. I don't get me wrong, I love my family. I don't want to call them.
My family has the rule that you text when you want something and you call when you need something. Unfortunately, we constantly need stuff.
Yeah, that's
even
kind
when
of where my family's getting
stuff.
to. It's like, okay, my family is getting to be to the point where my dad is nearing his mid-50s, so I get the feeling I'm gonna start to get those calls a lot.
We've gone off tangent now, but I have a funny out of pure circumstance or happenstance, my family always calls me at the worst times ever. 9 times out of 10, it's because I'm in the bathroom, in a public place.
I take those calls all the time. I don't give a shit.
I mean, I'll take them, yeah, but usually I'll take the call and I'll be like, hello, and they go, and the first thing, it's usually my mom or my sister, and they'll go, why do you sound all echoey? And I'll just go, I'm in the bathroom right now.
I'm in the bathroom.
And they're like, oh, okay, I'll call you back later. And I'm like, sure.
The amount of times that my grandparents have, or mostly my dad or my grandpa, have called me while I'm in the bathroom, I don't care at this point. It doesn't matter. They know what's happening. I've talked to my dad through the door. I mean,
that's fine, but it's typically when they call me and I'm in the bathroom, I'm going to the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, I usually
very
in all honesty,
awkward.
I just sit in there and read. That's where I do a lot of reading. I don't know why. My buddy told me about it because he used to read a lot of books, and I was like, "How do you read so many books?" He's like, "I read in the bathroom." I'm like, oh. Okay.
That makes sense.
That'll do it, won't it?
Yeah, that'll make sense.
It's like, well, yeah, I can't really focus on anything else. So if I just stay in the bathroom, the only thing I have to do is read my book. Like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Forged Machinist.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of. There wasn't a terrible amount in this E3 that I was like expecting for the most part. But there wasn't. But again, there really wasn't anything that like wowed me.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing, but at the same time, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh no, I do have 2 strikes completed. Weird. I don't know why or how I switched to Striker. Because you're at 2 of 3, right?
No, I finished.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right, make sure you take us out so I can switch. There isn't a terrible amount that I'm trying to rack my brain of like things that I wanted to see, and I'm like, it's hard for me to think of anything for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have liked to see. I honestly think generically, I think I would have liked to see more. I would have just liked to see more game announcements. I felt like there wasn't a whole lot, and like it felt kind of padded and like, hey, we're like a lot of times, a lot of the game releases were the same game but for different systems. Like it felt like there was a lot of overlap with the conferences of like
there was
like the conferences like, oh, like, you know, there was the biggest one was Guardians of the Galaxy. I remember seeing, I think, the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy for the PC game show, and then the next day watching the Square Enix conference, they're also talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm like
why?
I just heard about this last night. Like,
thanks, guys.
I don't need to hear about this again.
You're a little behind. Yeah, that for sure.
So I think that's probably my biggest thing was like I would have wanted to see more stuff. And it just, for me, there wasn't really a lot of stuff to talk about, and that was mildly upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
Things that I think were that I was surprised by, surprised that I was interested in. I was definitely interested in Babylon's Fall. That really actually piqued my interest a lot. I was like, okay, that's really cool. The Pixel remasters, I was actually excited for that. Fatal Frame honestly was probably the most surprising game that I saw, that I was like, oh, I actually really want to play this. Legitimately, I was actually
announcements
shocked.
That I was really excited for was Fatal Frame, Metroid, Dred, and I didn't find out about it until today, was the Pixel remasters. Like, if there's 3 super awesome things, it's those 3.
Yeah.
Because, that's what I'm about.
Yeah, I would honestly agree that if there was a winner, quote unquote, for E3, I think the winner would probably have to be a Nintendo. Just the sheer number of games that they were kind of advertising was a pretty decent amount, even though some of them may have already come out or are already almost out. But at the same time, they I lost my train of thought. But they were also a lot of this. They had a lot of stuff to talk about, and a lot of stuff that didn't overlap with other stuff, which was nice.
Mm-hmm. My only thing is like you were saying, games that have already been released, I don't care, and you definitely don't need to do a freaking presentation at E3 to be like, Danganronpa's coming to Switch. Who cares?
Neat.
And that's nothing against Danganronpa, but E3 is your big presentation event. And these are games that already exist. And people who just put them up for pre-order, or do a little announcement on your Twitter or something, but don't do it on a big stage of being these games are coming to Switch after 10 years of existing already. Like that to me, that's not exciting. That's not what E3 is for.
Yeah.
But whatever. Like, points for trying, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, there just wasn't, like, there's so many games that we know are coming out, but that these studios aren't, like, E3 is becoming less and less necessary because of the, like, everyone has their own individual, like, showcase show now.
Yeah.
So, like, Square always has their own event. So, like, why do they need to present any Final Fantasy 16 to us?
Yeah, I was actually really surprised by that Square was having a conference, and I was talking to Esprit about this. Was that, like, you know, it's interesting that Square is going to have a conference, because I'm like, what are they going to talk about? Because I'm like, they already had FanFest, which is for Final Fantasy 14, which is probably one of the most popular games right now.
Don't talk about Final Fantasy 14 right now. It hurts.
Sorry.
It hurts too much.
But, like, you know, they did that big reveal already, so, like, they're not going to talk about that. They could talk about Final Fantasy 16, but they probably won't do that. And it's just like you said, it's like, you know, they've essentially already blown their load. What else could you do?
Yeah, aside from giving, like, snippets of trailers or something. I don't know. I'm okay with just a little bit of a trailer or a, like some
a teaser art, you know? Yeah.
But nothing when we know something exists is just like
there was something that I thought you had, like, you're talking about, like, Danganronpa of, like, oh, there's remake, like, who the fuck cares? There was one game that I was watching through the entire E3 weekend.
Was it Advance Wars?
No, or maybe what is it called, like Starfront or like Homefront or something like that? I think it's being made by Bethesda as well. God, it's like either like a sequel or a threequel to an older game. And I can't think of what it's called. I want to say it's called, like, it's an RTS in space is what I know that is what it is.
XCOM?
No, it's not XCOM. Fuck. It's like Starbound or something like that. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
It's not StarCraft, is it?
No. Like, home.
They want to know if we want to join them for Crucible.
StarCraft.
Do we want to join them for Crucible?
Do you want to join them for Crucible?
And I don't play Crucible. And I don't have Crucible weapons.
I mean, we could join them. It's whatever. It's not Starfield. It's something else. It's... Fuck. I can't remember who had the conference. It's definitely not Starfield. It's like an old... this is gonna be Space RTS 2021.
Because Homefront is a shooter franchise.
Yeah, it's not Homefront. I don't think it's Falling Frontier. I don't think it's that. I saw it a couple days ago when I was watching one of the conferences. I don't remember what conference it was. I know it's not Bethesda because I didn't watch that one. It's not Nintendo. It's definitely not Nintendo. It wasn't. I don't think it was Ubisoft. It might have been. Was it Square? I don't think it was Square. That doesn't make any sense. Was it during the PC Game Show? No, I didn't watch the PC Game Show. Fuck. But either way, it was a game that apparently it was like a sequel to like a really old space RTS game, and the entire time it was like a weird like bid doc thing is how they like showcased it. And the entire time I'm just like, I don't care about this game, and I know literally nothing about this game. It was supposed to be like, from what it looked like, it was like naval combat but in space. It was like an RTS space naval combat game. It's not Eve, but something like that, basically.
Falling Frontier.
I don't think it was Falling Frontier. I don't think so.
Are you sure you saw it?
I'm positive I saw it.
Games announced.
Damn it. I want to say it's like Home something or like Star something. Is it Falling Frontier? Maybe it was called. Maybe they were calling it something else then. Because I legitimately like I can't think of it. You build bases and stuff in space. Okay, maybe it is Fallen Frontier. Maybe they was like, it must have been. They must have been calling it something else then. You're conflating it with Starfield's name. Maybe. I could have sworn they were talking about something else. Like it's a sequel to something else. Like I know that they were talking about that. Like it's a sequel to something, and it was an old game that's a sequel of is the thing. But I don't remember what it is.
I mean, all that matters is who.
All that matters is that who cares.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. Is like who the fuck cares? Because I can tell you right now, I did not care at all about it. Alright. Let me see here. Base building. E3. Again, but I remember seeing it throughout one of the conferences, and the entire time I'm just like, I don't care. I can't care enough about this game for me to really want to play it. Honestly, I forget what my whole train of thought was about it all, about that is, but yeah. But yeah, I felt like E3 was okay this year. Wasn't anything super crazy for the most part. It was kind of like, neat.
Neat.
Neat. But yeah, I think on that note, guys, I think that is a good place for us to end on this episode of the C Podcast. I think we pretty much exhausted all we want to talk about for E3. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to us talk about this kind of stuff. We will see you guys back here in a couple weeks for the next episode. Blah, 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 yada, yada. If you missed this episode, I will be putting it on my YouTube channel, obviously, next week. So be on the lookout for that. But as always, though, my name is Shogun Shin. That is Hex Ginkgo. This has been the C Podcast. And we will see you guys next time.